All right, joining me today is former JUCO product and current XFL draft invite tight end Tyler Guice. Tyler, how are you doing today? And thank you for joining me.
All right, man. Listen, I appreciate you for having me. I'm doing good this morning. Doing great.
Absolutely. The pleasure is all mine, sir. I'm super excited for you. How did you find out you had your XFL draft invite?
So, my agent Gordon, he reached out to me and he told me, we've been in contact about it after my I had a showcase in July 24th out in Arlington, Texas. So after the showcase, we just been back and forth, and he was telling me, and he ended up reaching out to me and was like, listen. It's a team interested in you, a couple teams interested in you. They're gonna put you in the draft pool, so it went like that.
Very nice, very nice. Which showcase did you attend, if you don't mind me asking?
I went to the Texas one on the 24th
Oh,
of
very
July.
nice. So if you stood out in that pack, then you must be a baller because there was a lot of very good players at that showcase.
Nah, definitely, it definitely was a lot of great players, and I feel like we all just did the best we could.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I wanted to go all the way back to basically the beginning of your career. How old were you when you got involved with organized football, and what inspired you to take the game this far?
So I was probably I want to say about 5 6 years old. I didn't start. My older brother was playing football at the time, and I remember I never forget he was like a couple years older than me, and he had won a trophy one time for after the season of like Pop Warner. He won a trophy, and I told my dad I wanted a trophy like that. And I told my dad and my mom that, so they ended up putting me in football the next season. And it was just ever since then I just been playing every day. I mean, well, not every day, but every year. I haven't missed a year.
Very nice. Very nice.
Fell in love with
Um,
it.
So during high school, you had an amazing career, capped off by a senior season that saw you lead the team in touchdowns. Despite catching only 39 passes, you scored 11 touchdowns in just 11 games, and you averaged, I think, just under 14 and a half yards per reception. This showcases your nose for the end zone as well as your ability to kind of bring down 50-50 balls in the end zone. Is this something you pride yourself on being the go-to target when the team needs points?
I definitely want to help my team as much as I can, and I feel like that started with I didn't know I was gonna be the go-to guy, but I know that summer going into it, it was a group of guys, me and like three other of my friends, four other of my friends, and we would just every summer, I mean every day that summer, in my junior year, my senior year, I remember every day in the summer we would work out. We would go have football practice in the morning, come to one of my homies' house, we would chill, and then we would go to basketball practice, and then we would have training after that with the trainer football practice. So it was just every day. I just seen myself getting better and better, and we just did it for 2 years straight, and it ended up paying off.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, quick shout out to Bill Copeland, who actually helped us cross the 350 subscriber mark yesterday, just before this interview. So, thank you for that. If you're watching, Bill, I appreciate it. If you're watching, definitely hit that like button because it helps us get this video out to more viewers. The more exposure Tyler gets, the more likely he is to be drafted. That's kind of how these things work. So, hopefully, we can help him in his pursuit of a professional football career. During high school, you actually played some defensive end as well. Do you believe this background playing defense helps you play on kick coverage and punt coverage units?
Yeah, definitely. It was more so. It helped me with my physicality for sure. Football, especially tight end. When you on the line, you in the trenches, so you got to be physical everywhere. Like that's the name of the game. So it definitely did help with my physicality.
Very nice. I mean, obviously, that's incredibly crucial if you're going to play kick coverage or any unit like that. So, definitely should be interesting to see exactly how you're used in the XFL this upcoming season. So, as we mentioned, you have a very strong career in high school, so much so that after your senior year, you're invited to participate in the Team USA under 19 team. You were able to travel to Kuwait, excuse me, to play games representing your country. What was this experience like as a young player?
So when I first got out of high school, I did have that experience. I ended up I ended up hurting my I fractured my wrist 2 weeks before we were, or a week before we were supposed to take off to Kuwait. So I ended up having to go to a bone specialist. I didn't even end up going to Kuwait to play the game. But them boys, they did their thing and they ended up winning the gold anyway.
Dang, that's too bad. I did not find that during my research at any point. I found an interview you had done like right before you were supposed to go, and you seemed really excited about it. And then I couldn't really find statistics from the game or anything, so I apologize about that. I'm sure that's not a memory you wanted to be reminded of.
Oh no, man, it's good, man. That right there helped me. It helped me with overcome a lot of things going through that process.
Absolutely. So I'm curious, was that the only appearance that you would have had with Team USA, or have you played with them in the future?
No, yeah, that was the only. So that right there was gonna be the only time I think we took off. We were gonna be in Kuwait for a month, and I think they played over like 6 or 7 games, and they ended up winning the gold. But yeah, that was gonna be the only time we all got together. It was just a group of guys that they selected. I think it was like 45 players throughout the USA.
Gotcha. Uh, so you end up playing JUCO to begin your college career. What led you to Grossmont Community College?
So what led me to Grossmont was at first I was at a JUCO in Kansas, Hutchinson Community College. I was there. That's why I had redshirted at Hutchinson, and then due to circumstances, I had to leave. I ended up leaving Hutchinson, and then that's when Grossmont reached out to me, and they had told me they wanted me to come down, and I think it was like in the middle of fall camp, and they were just like we need you down here and stuff. So I ended up flying out to California within 2 days, and I ended up playing for Grossmont my 2 years of JUCO, my ninth and my freshman and sophomore year.
Okay, I was going to say I didn't see anything about. Was it Hutchinson? You said.
Yeah, it was Hutchinson. It was Hutchinson Community College. I didn't even play there. I just went there out of high school.
Gotcha. That explains a lot. I mean, if you redshirted and then left, there's probably, unfortunately, not much information to find, which I just wanted to speak on that for a quick moment. These schools that are a little bit smaller need to get better with their information output, because that helps players long term. Being able to show that you have a history of, hey, look, I was playing at this college, so, in this year, I was worried about developing as a player. And then, I learned the playbook. I was taking in all the coaching I could. I was watching a lot of film. And then I moved on to the next college, which was Grossmont. And then I actually played. I applied my knowledge, and then you can see my progression as I go. I think that's really key for players to be able to, have that information available to show coaches. So I think that's something that these smaller schools need to get a little bit better on. But with that being said, Grossmont did a great job. Their information was extremely readily available, so kudos to them, because I feel that's very helpful. So I noticed that on Grossmont's roster, sorry about that, they had built their team heavily on local kids from California schooling system. Was there any sort of bias towards player from their state, or was it simply just how it worked out and the best players played, period?
No, there wasn't no bias. Coach Jordan did a great job recruiting. He recruited all over the U.S. But I feel like with being from a Cali kid, JUCO is heavy out there. They even got their own JUCO conference. So California is known for great football. So it's a lot of great players that go there, and they just happen to they're local. So Grossmont is close. It's a great school. You can get great looks out of there. A lot of people made it to the next level from Grossmont. So a lot of people just went there from California.
Okay, cool. I mean, I'm glad to hear that. That's how it should be. Obviously, you want to recruit your local area, but if there's any sort of bias, that's a problem. But from your perspective, there wasn't. So, you would know better than I would.
Played the best man played.
That's awesome. That's how it should be. So let's talk about your 2015-2016 season at Grossmont. During this year, you appeared in, I think it was 5 games, but logged offensive statistics in just 3 games. But I saw that you had a game in which you had 3 tackles. Were you playing both sides of the ball for Grossmont?
No, I wasn't playing both sides of the ball. They had me. I was on kick. I was a freshman at the time, so that I was on kickoff too. I played kickoff, so I was going down making plays on kickoff.
You made 3 tackles on kickoffs in a game?
Yeah. Yep.
That's impressive. That's impressive. I just assumed you were playing like, defensive end or something, or maybe linebacker for a game.
Nah, man, I was going down there. I was trying, like I said, I want to do everything to help my team. So I was going down there every day. Not every day, but every play, every time we kick the ball off, I was hauling, trying to go down there and make a play.
Very nice. That's amazing, man. Good for you. So heading into the 2016-2017 season, you start to gather a little bit of a bigger role on offense. In a stretch of 6 games, you catch 13 passes for 182 yards. What led to this change to your role on offense?
So it was really mostly me just growing up and maturing through JUCO. Out there in California, it was a real JUCO struggle for real. It was 13 of us in a 2-bedroom. So, a lot of times we weren't like, and we were all like 19, 20 at the time. So that a lot of times we weren't doing for our body what we needed to be ready for the games and stuff. So it just took me maturing and just understanding and just understanding that I need to be the best. Instead of being up 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning playing the game with these guys, I need to be in the bed by 11. So I can wake up in the morning and just be fully rested. That's really what happened.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, that's a good way to be. I mean, overall, you have to learn how to treat yourself as an athlete to get to the highest level. So good on you for learning that. At the Sorry, go ahead.
No, 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 no. I was just saying, definitely. You can go ahead.
At the end of the 6-week stretch, you put together a 5-reception, 55-yard game, and then ultimately don't play again for the rest of the season. Did you suffer an injury during this time?
Yeah, that game right there, I ended up tearing my ACL. That was the game I tore my ACL, and I caught a ball, and the guy ended up swinging. I swung him off me, but he ended up grabbing onto my knee, and it twisted my knee, and I tore my ACL right there.
That's too bad. That's too bad. Definitely one of the worst injuries you can suffer in terms of a young athlete. But obviously, you came back stronger than ever because, as we're about to talk about, you had an impressive move to Texas A&M Commerce. What did you major in during your time there?
I majored in, so I got my bachelor's in general studies.
Okay, very
Yeah, my
nice.
bachelor's in general studies. But
So
I'm
go ahead.
sorry, I cut you off, but bringing it back to Grossmont, that was a hard time for me too, because that 2016 year, that's when I tore my ACL. I ended up losing all my D1 scholarships. I had Fresno State, Idaho. I had a couple more schools, but those two right there had offered me like the second game of the season. So, I was doing my thing and stuff like that, but I ended up tearing my ACL, lost everything. So that 2017 year, I was just getting my knee right, and that's when I ended up, just getting a whole. I had like over 40 D2 offers. Those were the only schools that were reaching out to me with my injury. No D1 schools wouldn't talk to me because they were afraid of my injury. So I felt like every D2 school just reached out, and I ended up signing with the best one at the time, and that was Texas A&M Commerce. They just won the national championship that 2017 year. So that year I was hurt, they won the championship, and I came that 2018.
Gotcha, gotcha. So speaking of which, this seems like a perfect time to play your highlight video. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that up real quick. Uh, I don't get Sorry about that. Meant to mute it, not jump through it. Anyway, so we're going to keep talking. So you told me off screen that if you were going to go to a D2 school, you wanted to be at the best one. What about the culture and program makes you believe that Texas A&M Commerce was the best possible option for you?
Okay, well, besides the fact that they won the 2017 they won the championship the year before, it was more so the coaches. I was being recruited by Coach Blau, Tim Blau, and he was he was a great guy to talk to, a great coach. So when he brought me in, and I was around all the other coaches at the time, I was the head coach was Kobe Carthel. He's a great guy, and they just made me feel like family for real. Like when I say that, I really mean that. In the way the program was ran, it wasn't like any other D2. Like I swear, I felt like I was at a D1. How we handled business on and off the field. It was no time for, and it helped, and it also helped me it helped me become more so a man because the accountability was held not just by the coaches but the players too. Even the players they were we at the time we're all under 25, but at the time we're holding each other accountable as if we're grown. You know what I'm saying? Like if you lack off in the classroom, a coach ain't gonna get on you, or your teammate will. So it was just all around. It was just a great place to be.
Definitely. Sometimes it's those team atmospheres that create more pressure than anything, and that can be a good thing at times. I mean, pressure creates diamonds. That's something that shout out to Lorenz Stefan who said that last time he was on here. So you played under head coach David Bailiff at the time. Talk to me about how Bailiff and his staff ultimately helped develop you as a player.
So yeah, I played with Bailiff my senior year, and Bailiff is a great guy, man, a great coach. He's a player coach. He doesn't just want you to win in football. He wants you to win in life. He wants to help you become a great young man. Therefore, when the time comes, football isn't forever. So when the time comes when football ends, you're set up to be in a great spot. So yeah, playing for Bailiff, it was really amazing. He was there for me the whole way. Me and Bailiff, we still have conversations to this day.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's how you know a good coach. I mean, a guy who makes himself available to his players long after they're gone from his program. So good on him for being a great coach, because that's definitely how you should do it. So I thought it was interesting. After scoring 11 times as a senior, it actually took you until your fourth year in college to score. And it was like once you got one, you were scoring almost every week. What did it feel like to score for the first time at the college level?
My first touchdown, it just felt like home again, because I like you said, I went from my senior year of high school scoring all the touchdowns to not scoring one to my senior year of college. It just felt like it was a feeling that I missed. I missed it a lot. So I definitely wanted to see the end zone a lot more.
Definitely understandable. You end up scoring 5 touchdowns on the season, I think, in like an 8-game stretch. So it was like, once that dam broke, the flood came real quick. So we talked earlier about your ability to play on kick and punt coverage teams. What about on kick and punt return units, as well as like field goal and punt units? Have you played on all these units in the past as well?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean not at Commerce, they had me on punt. I was on punt team, so I was back there as the wall. That when I was there, none of the kicks ever been blocked when I was back there. So I think we went our whole Commerce year not having my whole 2 years without having one kick blocked.
Absolutely. So you're talking about that personal punt protector spot, like right behind the offensive line?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Okay. That's pretty much the role I was envisioning at the time. So I've got 3 more questions for you before I let you get out of here with the rest of your day. One of which is going to be a fairly big one. So here it is. We discussed your versatility, being able to play both sides of the ball, but what we haven't talked about is your versatility within your position. So tight end is obviously one of those chess piece positions where you can kind of use them wherever to create mismatches for the defense. I mean, a good tight end, you can line them up in the backfield, in line, out wide, in the slot. So talk to me about how you prepare yourself as a player to be able to do all of these things on the field.
Uh, the best way to prepare myself, I feel like me personally, I feel like when I go out there for football, when I go out there to play a game, when I go out there for practice, anything, it's all about the confidence. You gotta have confidence knowing in your ability to know what you can and can't do. So I feel like as a tight end, I can do everything. I feel like I can line up and I'll block. I can block. I can put my hand in the dirt and block. I can line up as fullback, which I had a lot of my plays in Commerce. They had me as fullback leading the way for the running back. I can do that very well. I can spread out to the outside. So I pride myself in when I work out, I make sure I touch everything. I don't want to be the guy who just known for one thing. I do a lot of my stuff. A lot of my workouts are done with the receivers and running backs. I'm just trying to have. I want the same footwork, if not better than them. Yeah, so I push myself like that.
I love it. I love it. So you talked about the way Commerce prepared you and how they acted as if they were a Division I program. A couple years after you left the school, they ultimately did move up to the Division I level. What did you think about that move for your alma mater?
I mean, I love it. They got a game today I'm gonna go to and watch. Man, it's a great thing because we dominated the LSC for so long that now we in the Southland Conference and them boys are still doing their thing. I think they're 3-0 in conference right now. First year D1, they're 3-0 in conference. Beat the team that was supposed to win the conference last week. So it's just like I said, man. Commerce it's a great place to be for a lot of kids. For anybody like I have a friend named Obi that says all roads must come through Commerce because it's a lot. You'll have people from everywhere that come from, no matter what state. You'll just come to Commerce and you'll end up doing your thing. And, it'll set you up for life.
Definitely, definitely. It obviously seems to have put you in a good position heading forward. Obviously, as we talked about earlier on, you got an XFL draft invite for the 2023 draft. That's no small feat. There's been a lot of players out there that have been working very hard to try and get this opportunity, and they have not gotten it. So kudos to you, man. Like I said before, you must have definitely showed yourself in a tremendous manner at one of these showcases to get that invite, and you obviously deserve it. We showed some of your highlights before. You're a tremendous player. But I wanted to leave you with an opportunity to kind of sell yourself to coaches that might be watching. So go ahead and take the floor and give your best sales pitch as to why an XFL team should draft you and ultimately an NFL team should sign you after you play in the XFL.
Well, I feel like a team should take a chance on me because I'm the guy that you're gonna want in the locker room as well as on the field. I try to as I grow and as I grow older, I realize that football is a sport that you have to lead on and off the field, and that right there is helping me become a better man. So and then I also know that I definitely will give my all, man. 110%, man. Every play, every snap, you're gonna have the best of me, and whatever the coach needs me to do, I'm gonna do it. No questions asked. Whether they want me at fullback, whether they want me at tight end, whether they want wherever you want me on the field, receiver. I'm gonna just go out there and I'm gonna do the best I can do, and then hopefully that's gonna be good enough. But I know for a fact if I get the opportunity, I'm gonna do my thing.
Absolutely. I fully believe in your abilities, and I personally think that you've got a lot of good things ahead of you. I mean, you're very young. You still got a whole career ahead of you. So as soon as you get this opportunity in the XFL, I think it's only up from there. So congratulations on the XFL draft invite. Once again, man, that's no small feat. You should be very proud of yourself. And with that being said, before I let you get out of here, is there anybody you want to shout out? Anything else you want to get in before we get out of here?
Man, just a shout out to probably my siblings, my dad, for always being there for me. And like, my big brother Mike, he's not here with us no more. Just a shout out for my family, that's really what it comes down to. That's really what it's all about. So I just want to make them proud. And I feel like I had a tough role, like you said, I done had offers and I done lost them all. I done had to go D2, I done did a lot of things in my life, and I just feel like it all come down to this. It all was preparing me for this moment right here. Just being able to stay committed to your craft and just never stop because you never know when the opportunity is going to present itself. So with that being said, I'm very excited, man. I'm just ready to work. You know.
Definitely, definitely. I'm super excited for you. Like I told you before, man, this is no small opportunity. It really isn't. I mean, the XFL is big time. In my personal opinion, I think after a season, maybe 2 seasons, we're talking about them being the number 2 option for players in the world. I mean, in terms of playing football, I mean, it's right next to the NFL. I mean, I'm not talking about them rivaling the NFL anytime soon, but the NFL wasn't built overnight either. That's what people don't quite understand with spring football is all these leagues are starting at a basis that's actually quite a bit higher than what the NFL began at. So it's no small opportunity, like I said. So congratulations. best of luck. I hope I hear your name called on draft day. And with any luck, we'll be speaking on draft day after you're called in the first round and have you on for a quick reaction interview live on draft day.
And definitely, man, I appreciate the Sandy Sports, man. This was a great experience for me. It really was. I
Well,
truly do appreciate you.
Hey man, really, I appreciate you coming on because I basically reached out to your agent. You and I have never actually spoken prior to this, so for you to be willing to come on and trust me to tell your story, it takes a level of trust, and for that I thank you because without players like you, I wouldn't have a platform to be speaking on with any players. So I really appreciate that, man, and just know that you're a part of the Shady Sports Network family now. So if you don't get drafted here, trust me, I will be sending your film around to other coaches and trying to get you on somewhere.
Man, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll catch you another time.
Nah, definitely, man. You have a great rest of your day, too.
Absolutely. So once again, guys, that's Tyler Guice. Just a heck of a guy. Once again, a guy I did not actually speak to man to man until I had already requested the interview with him through his agent. Typically, don't take that route myself. I try to talk to the players first. But Tyler was really gracious to come on. He's been nothing but great when I was asking about information about his career. Super polite guy. Has been extremely respectful during this whole process. So I just want to thank him for coming on, and I want to thank everybody who watched. Please hit that like button. Again, that helps push this video out to more viewers. The whole point of this platform is to give players a platform to speak on their career, tell their story from their words. I mean, I know a lot of interviewees or interviewers will not quite get into the nitty-gritty that we will here because at the end of the day, this is independent media. And sometimes there's some upsides to independent media, and that's one of them, is that this is truly by the players, for the players, and it's going to continue to be that way no matter how many subscribers we got. So I know we were at 350 last time I checked. I hope we're jumping up as we speak. So if you haven't yet, like, comment, subscribe. You'll be entered in our drawing to potentially win up to $150 in sports memorabilia. And in the same time, you're helping us grow this platform so more and more people see the stories of these players. They can see the inside, the hardships these guys go through, the battles they have to fight to get where they are. Everybody wants to think that professional sports is all fun and games, which at the end of the day, when you get there, it is. It is fun. It is a game. But the work that you have to give to get there is next level. It's something that you can't quite understand as an everyday, Joe like the rest of us out here. So with that being said, once again, Tyler, thank you so much for coming on, man. Really appreciate it. And I can't wait to speak to you again on XFL draft day when you are selected by one of the 8 XFL teams. And with that being said, thank you for your support.